Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so the Counterterrorism Act, the bill and the police powers that were created to allow the police the power to stop and detain, question, and hopefully prevent an act of terrorism. Because when you are arrested using this bill, they can hold you for 48 hours. You don't have a right to any legal representation being there at all. You don't have a right to remain silent. You have to answer their questions. Otherwise, that's a criminal offence. They can arrest you on that. You have to surrender all your electronic devices, and you have to give them all the passcodes to allow them to go into said devices. Again, if you don't, that's a criminal offence. And when it was first, brought into power, it was rightfully lauded as about time we gave the police these powers. Except, of course, terrorist attacks still happen because, well, clearly there is a conflict of interest when certain members of society are questioned, shall we say. But the problem is in this country right now, they really need to rename it the Thought Police Act, because that's what it's being used for. It is being misused not to prevent terrorism, but to question people like me, to question people like Tommy Robinson, to question people like the Royal Marine, who's recently been in the news, because it gives them absolute and total power over you. It is, without any doubt, state-sponsored interrogation. And yet we all seem to be happy with this. Well, because it prevents terrorism. Has it? So you'll never know. We'll never know whether it has, but the simple truth of the matter is, if it was such an awesome bill and it worked so well, it wouldn't happen that much. One-offs, but not on a regular basis, like it has done. And to be fair, I think this country is long overdue one. And before YouTube jumps up and down and throws a hissy fit, that's me just airing an opinion, not actually asking for one, because I know how these things work. But you see, if you get the knock at the door, if I get my knock at the door and they decide to arrest me, it would be using the terrorism one because of the power that it gives them, complete and utter power. And even if you haven't actually done anything wrong, the whole point of it is to terrify you into making sure you don't say anything ever again. Do I look like the person who would commit a terrorist attack? Is Tommy Robinson, which is probably the most high-profile misuse of this law, is he a terrorism? Now, I know those people on the far left, the left waffer, will probably go, well, yes, of course he is. Well, that's because you're unhinged. You're mentally unstable. Does a serving Royal Marine, who's prepared to lay down his life for this country, a terrorist? Well, that's what they're going to start now. I mean, because in his case now, because it turns out that he supports the Homeland Party, and I've done zero research on the Homeland Party, and so therefore what I'm about to say, I have no idea. And also in reality, because he's done that, he's therefore already been turned into a neo-Nazi. Isabella, I ran away and I suck off Richard Tice Oakenshaw, who's come out and said, well, is this Marine being persecuted, or is he a far-right extremist? Why? You see, the thing is, if you actually watch the video that he explains the reason why he did what he did. And it's a thing that has been bothering military personnel for a long time. And as I said before, you get the screams of sexism, but it's not about that. But then again, civvies never would understand what it's all about. And he went on, and he also went on Talk TV, and he was like, you know, it's a look. So they've started. First, he gets arrested using the terrorism. When he comes back off holiday, gets interrogated. Then the media start their spin, because that's what he is. He's a far-right extremist. He's a neo-Nazi. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Blah, 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 blah. But what we need to do is we need to actually be challenging or creating a check here, because the police are using this act as the ability to state interrogate you. And I'm not happy with that. You see, this is the problem. This is what they like to do. You see, we have a terrorism problem, so we create an act that's going to protect you from terrorism. And everybody goes, that's really, really good. It hasn't protected you from any terrorism at all, because terrorist attacks still occur, but it does mean they can now use it to threaten you if you don't like what's being done by your socialist dictators. Yeah, exactly. So, sorry it was a bit of a heavy one for this morning, but it's something that needs to be spoken about, I think, because it's very pertinent right now. Any case, 2 videos coming up at this. One will be the last one I uploaded, and the other one will be the one that YouTube will select with its mighty algorithm, and it's called The Chosen One. Now, if you agree with what I'm saying, or you like what I'm doing, you could just hit that subscribe button. You can like, you can share. Please share. Sharing is probably one of the best ways that these videos can get out, because definitely I'm not being pushed at all by the algorithm. No matter how much interaction I have, no one wants to apparently watch them anymore. Funny that, but it is what it is. As I've said before in other videos, it's YouTube's way of demoralising and silencing people. Because, I mean, I've done 2 videos on the weather, and both of them immediately go to limited ads and get notes attached to them and go nowhere, because I'm not allowed to talk about the weather anymore. Well, unless, of course, it's in a way that backs up narratives, shall we say. You can attempt to make a comment. At the moment, some comments are coming through. I've suddenly got a comment section that starts to fill up, but then I'll slam that down. But that's to stop you talking, because that's the whole idea of that as well. Unless, of course, you want to insult me straight through, golden gate or golden shot and all that sort of stuff. Any case, there are ways to support the channel. They're all down below. Merchandising, all that sort of stuff for the merchandising is purely for shits and giggles. I enjoy doing it. And then you got PayPal, you got Buy Me a Coffee, you've got becoming a member of the channel, of which I now have 8. And I'm truly, truly touched and honoured that these people like my content that much that they want to pay a little bit extra for the ability to see the videos a little earlier than everybody else. And I've got a video that I've got to do to talk about that, because things are going to change on some of the videos. Watch this space. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So, until the next one.
Maybe it's so narrow at the bottom.